Oh, that's perfect.
Hey,
So
we
then,
are recording.
all right. So this is the, I start February 1st, 2021, MicroProfile Hangout. This is the second call of the year. And this one is kind of summary of what went down 2 weeks ago. We had some issues with PTOs in the United States. So we started late and lost a few microprofilers. So we are going to catch up on this call. And this is why I'm sharing the minutes today. And thanks, John, for coming into PTO that day. I'm still apologetic of pulling you in. So this is the deal. I have only this morning added what we talked about on last call. We mentioned how this call needs different microprofilers to own by month the agenda, to send the agenda to the microprofile marketing forum and add topics that are relevant based on what the project as a whole is working. So then I went ahead and I created a schedule. So let me click on this. And this is my recommendation because in the community forum, we have usually John and Kevin owning this work that is a thankful, hard job because it never gets thanked enough. And it's fine, but I'm thinking we can do better, hopefully in this area. And for
I accept
February,
GoFundMe's.
GoFundMe, there you go, right? So the idea is, this document is housed under the microprofile minutes. It is outside of the marketing because we need this to go by tab by the year, you see. So here we just have this format, February, and I said it's my birthday month. It's just I'm being biased, just a start because I'm pushing for it. And we need at least 2 other volunteers or at least 1 to cover March. Clearly, we have 2 more calls in February, so we will circulate if those ones in this call agree, we can circulate this and make sure that there is more attendance and also more takers on tasks at hand and also on leading these calls, right? Questions, brainstorming, what do you think about this? How do you feel about having many others on the agenda? I'm not talking about the Zoom recording, I'm talking about the agenda, about the tweets, I mean, all these things.
Well, from a call steward perspective, I kind of punt just because I already, the MicroProfile call is good, enough for me. But
yeah, I'm not expecting you to.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is with more members now a part of the working group, that each organization should have a representative on this call. That I think that would be a really good thing, and that would help have a larger pool of people to volunteer to be stewards. And sorry, Tetiana was trying to join. I missed. Okay, so Tetiana will be on in here in a minute. And we should also, continue to try to recruit community members as well. So I'll leave it at that.
Debbie, what do you think? Tetiana, what do you think?
Hi guys, I've just joined you, sorry, from the previous call. I was late a bit, so not sure what you are asking about.
Oh, okay. Tetiana, sorry about this. So Debbie, can you summarize for Tetiana? Are you okay with that?
I can try. I was going to ask to see if I understood. So your monthly marketing call stewards document that you're sharing, you're asking for volunteers to take the minutes and then to tweet out and put the video on YouTube? Is that what we're looking to do?
We haven't written the responsibilities. Every single time this call has happened for the last 4 years, we're very informal. However, there are so many things that we need to do and we always get to accomplish them. But this time we need to do a little bit better onboarding new members and community members, right? Not everyone is a coder. So we want to make sure that those ones that are not coders can still earn commit access if they work in the business side of MicroProfile, because it's possible. So then the responsibilities are here and nothing is written. These are the basics. That means agenda minutes are usually, they should be sent, we don't even do this in the community calls, but maybe we decide to send them on Thursday before the Monday. And since I'm going to do February, and there is only one call in February extra, I'm going to send them on Thursday before the Monday, right? To the marketing, MicroProfile marketing forum. Then the YouTube recording, that is only for the people that will be added into the Zoom calendar. Only a few only commuters have access to the calendar. However, John currently has access. In the agenda, we are asking for volunteers. Ryan will volunteer on the side of on Tommy Tribe to be sure that when John is on vacation, John can delegate this to someone else if he feels like it as well. And then maybe Tetiana or someone in this Garden Jug or Atlanta decides, hey, I want to help. We need at least 2 people. It's hard that 2 people will be in the vacation or PTO on the same day, but that happens. John and I were on vacation on the same day, and we failed completely, joined this call 8 minutes in January, and it was just a mess. So we want to avoid these things, and we need more diversity, right? So David, do you understand it? So we will create the responsibilities. YouTube recording is only for the Zoom, and tweet. We usually tweet like John does through personal link, and then MicroProfile handle retweets it. And it's just simple. Just it's the individual, and then it comes the handle.
Okay.
So Tetiana.
So the question right now is who is going to be like extra people to suit these?
The question is, the minutes are here, and anyone can volunteer. If you're in this call and you plan to attend often, you can volunteer to say, hey, I'm going to give March. I want to try it in April. And that means you own all the responsibilities. No one will assign you. So it's here. This will be a standard on the template. Monthly call stewards, right, like that. And then here, we can just add it. We will notify it based on what this group talks about. We will notify it in the Try Marketing forum and say, please, volunteer yourself for any months. We don't have to, aside from March, we can be like, oh, I do not know, I need to see later, we can obligate people to own their schedule. But it's a good idea to formalize the ownership. That's my thought.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, for example, from my side, I can take, for example, April for myself, and before 2 marketing weekly calls, not weekly, bi-weekly calls, I'm going to prepare the draft for this agenda. We'll send it to the to people or whatever, and during the call, I will be in charge to lead the agenda and then have a tweet and then spread YouTube video.
In Tetiana, nice summary, only that the recording is only maybe 4 people have access to the MicroProfile YouTube channel for infra reasons, and only 1 or 2, Ryan and John are the only 2 ones that have uploaded tickets, videos, with Kevin one time helping John, I think. But usually I have infra access, but I have never used it ever. And I don't want to deal with YouTube. I don't want to deal with it. But then that means that those ones that have access, we file a ticket and then we assign it to that person. And usually that person is likely a committer, and then that person uploads the video. However, you need to work closely with the ticket so that it's done between 24 to 48 hours so that you can retweet it from your private personal handle, and then it gets retweeted by MicroProfile. It's just like, if you want access to the infra of YouTube, sure, that's possible and totally doable. But before that, we want community members to also join and I want to help with the agenda, but they don't need access to the infra. You see, there are so many types of how we can mutate and improve this access.
Okay, yeah, it sounds okay for me. Yeah, I don't want to have access as well to the infrastructure, so it's better to have it like limited people access to that. So, and as for the agenda, that's okay. I don't think this is a problem. Twice per month prepare the draft. Yeah.
Okay, so then you have in the agenda, there it goes. It says monthly schedule. And I want to say, John, you have done so much work. I'm hoping that your name is not there. And if you're going to choose a month, let me replace you with that month, because it's just, you shouldn't do it. I'm just being like super thankful of you and what you do and the other side. So Debbie, is this something that you are willing, you could think to help? Or?
The only thing that I probably wouldn't be that useful in personally is the Twitter, because I don't use it, but I could get Jaden or Dominica to do our posts that month.
Okay, there we go. So you see, you don't care about Twitter. I don't care about.
I hate Twitter.
I know this. I know this because you have told me many times in person. I don't like YouTube, but I have infra access for reasons. So, and then Tetiana doesn't want access to YouTube. So we need to find, we have 4 people, 2, almost 3 that uses it. So maybe, Ryan will be, I imagine he's not here, but he will be happy to help if the ticket comes and, anyway. So then anything else? Emily, you are here, but you're a coder, but you could also help if you feel like it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, when I have, if I have a kind of spare, time.
Yeah.
Whenever, if nobody around or something like that, I will always be willing to help.
So then, I think we need to circle in the document that was created and responsibilities, because now we have located people will not want to do Twitter and things like that, and then we can do those optional, and Git issues will be created for those uploads of the YouTube. That is the only thing I see. Everything else will be done perfectly, easy, no mediators. Okay, so then that's one task that is super important, and I think is relevant to the calendar. Before I go to the onboardings, because super important, onboarding of new members wiki, this is the general one. We need to talk about the 2021 calendar. With John's help, the calendar has been set. We need to make sure that December, only one call is set in December. However, we need volunteers to have access to the Zoom recording. And as John and I found out, it cannot be just John.
Well, what that's going to require is getting a Zoom account that belongs to MicroProfile.
Correct.
Now, I think through our fees and everything that the Eclipse Foundation basically says, every, I think, working group gets a Zoom account.
One.
Yeah. And I think that's all we need. And it could be a shared account for all the component spec meetings, for this meeting, for the Hangout. We'll have to figure out how to manage the access, admin access. But besides that, do we just ask? I'll just ask Paul, I guess. I guess I'll just ping Paul.
No, I think, John, you nailed it. The thing is that we need to use the marketing forum, working group forum, to pull in Paul. We add him into the BCC or CC, and then add the working group and say, we have one account that was given to us in 2017, and we have been using it, but now we need to formalize it. Either we buy a Zoom account for MicroProfile, in which at least one member is responsible for the 8 different API extensions, and then one for the community and one for the marketing. I see a total of 10. Or do we continue to use the one that is included for any working group under the Eclipse Foundation, or those ones that require it? And if that's the case, what would it take? Do we need to create a different infra email like we have for the other ones, other activities? Do you see? So if you want to follow that action item, add it to the agenda, but it needs to be done, no privacy, it needs to be done via the working group. And then we move forward, because here, anyone can volunteer and say, hey, I would like to do that. I can help with the recordings. It needs to be at least 2-3 people. And they need to be from different continents. Different continents. I don't want to ever again text John while both of us are in PTO.
I don't care.
I do care.
In fact, I had signed myself up to do it. I just lost track of time. It was in my calendar and everything. And I had do not disturb turned on my phone.
I know. It was like, oh no.
So,
but
I was soccer dad that Monday.
So So listen to this. So then we have in here, so John, are you okay to send that message and help us figure out what comes next so that we can fix this?
Yeah, I'll probably just do it via the MicroProfile community forum. Just
That's
say,
even
hey,
better.
we need a Zoom account. So
And we can pay for it. Do you see, we have the budget now. So
I don't think we have to. I think it's part of the general fees.
I don't think it's going to be a service, but let's find out.
Yeah, we'll
It's
find
part of
out.
the infra. I have
So,
it.
so in this case, like the marketing call and live hangout, we'll use the same one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have been doing that.
Yeah, that might be better actually. Just the one.
Well, and all the component specs if they want to use the account.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
means kind of the password can be shared, can be shared, right? So it's basically for example, MP config want to use this one, and then we are able to get the password. Okay, that's cool.
And Emily, we do need like Edwin and Emerson and you and Roberto to connect, via the community. We will connect and say, hey, once this is fixed, we have a Zoom account, or maybe it's going to be just one, but maybe we need to buy 10, one for each API. I hope not. It can be one for APIs and one, if we buy two, it's like, I have no idea. But once it's done, we have APIs using Google, other ones using Blue Jeans, other ones using, there is so many things happening. So we need to make sure that we standardize it so that if that person doesn't show up, someone else can own it, can own the call, right? Like be a little bit more careful with scalability on
So the credentials to this account, Zoom account that will be in future, will be shared between like 4 or 5 people.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
okay.
that's the goal.
It'll probably be more like 20, to be honest. At least 2 per components, for all the meetings.
We need to make sure that there are in every API that someone can take a vacation, and if they want to record it, it happens. One is not enough, right? And John and I will not volunteer in marketing, definitely not. I'm just saying, like, I will not. And John, you have done so much. No, like someone else. And I'm saying Ryan will volunteer because he has already said he will volunteer in December. And someone else can come, and we will add this into the infra sheet that we have that says who has access to what and what. This is just like MicroProfile infra, which is super fun. Okay, so John.
And everyone gets the joy of logging in his technology meeting and changing their name.
Yes. So John, so you on the, can you, I shouldn't write into the minutes because then my Mac is going to stop working for me. So if you can add an action item for you to say, you will send a message to Paul and whatever and move forward. So then.
I'm just adding it. Okay.
Yeah, so then let's see, let's go to the wiki. I want to show, usually we will go with a MicroProfile Git, the first thing we will do, but this is not a regular call. So let's see this. Who has not seen this document?
I have now.
Who is speaking? Sorry, I had to make everything.
Sorry, me, Debbie.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay. Tetiana, have you seen it?
It seems to me I saw it.
Emily?
I saw it, yeah.
Okay. So this is a document that is the general document for onboarding new members now that we have the working group. And sorry, I have no idea. My computer is slow. So from this document, 2 other documents are going to be linked. Oh, I'm sorry about this. It's just so many pages opened. So 2 other documents are going to be created and are going to be drafted. Oh my God, sorry. And that is the committer onboarding that explains questions that Ed from Oracle is asking about what about joining different APIs and what about joining as a steering committee. And all of those are written in the charter, but they are not clear. So I have, since last call, I said, hey, I will volunteer to write and add to the wiki, so the wiki can, this wiki welcomes PRs, if, small PRs, so they can be improved in the communication. And then there is another wiki that will be linked that is about onboarding marketing business members. That means what John mentioned at the beginning of the call. If a new member joins, then that organization might be willing to assign a person to join these calls and help on marketing or business initiatives, right? So then those 2 documents, I'm working on them. I've not even started. I will start this week, but they are needed. So the goal is to make the sections of this section, committed status, small, because all of this data will be moved to the new document, and it will be just a link that explains what's what for committed status. Then we have the marketing, right? If the MicroProfile working group chose not to have a steering committee for marketing, and that is because we don't want to increase the debt, the communication debt, and the leverage of having too many bodies, everyone can join and make a difference. So then it is important for everyone, especially the members that are rejoining MicroProfile, to review the document and see, have you submitted your logos? Because the logos need to be added into the new MicroProfile working page, right? Let's see, let me show you. I was here and I was here. So then look at this. Payalas has submitted a quote, a corporate quote. And this is one of the tasks that needs to be distributed in the way we do things. For example, my recommendation is those who decide to help on the call steward can on quote submissions review, not import into the website because not everyone has admin access and we don't want that. But for example, in February, if I see anything coming into the Git that sends a contributor, committer, member, guest quote, I am happy to follow the process of how to track the quote so that it gets into the working group page, right? So that is my philosophy. There are so many tasks and we need to find a way to distribute this information. Tactical, this was submitted 6 days ago, and I waited for this call so that I can maybe enable someone else during February to work with me to enable that person to maybe be the next one, to enable someone else like we do for the releases, so that everyone can process quotes, right? Questions about this. This is super important because it's just one of many things that we need to do as a team. This is not a 1 person or 2 people task. It needs to be distributed. Otherwise, we will never get anything done. In a manner.
What do you mean by process? Do you mean adding to the site?
Yeah, not only adding to the site, but for instance, the quote, look, John immediately went and created a Git issue because that is how we work, correct? And John, you're rock. So I go in here, right?
I didn't want to get yelled at. It was out of fear.
Oh, come on, dude. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. So anyway, so Tetiana, this is a quote. The quote cannot go directly into the Excel sheet that we have. Have you seen the quote guidelines that are part of a wiki? The process, yes. Have you seen it?
Yes, because I submitted Jelastic quotes earlier.
And when you did that, you used the Word document, but now the document is under wiki. So it welcomes PRs and it's now formalized based on the actions and the feedback received. So then the quote tells you the steps. And the question is this is not a 1 task person or 2. Anyone that is in the business side should be able to help just by following the initiatives. Just as we do with the YouTube recordings, not everyone wants to import it in YouTube. Not everyone will have infra access to delete the MicroProfile website, but anyone that speaks English and is comfortable reviewing and saying, hey, is this 60 words? No, but this is a corporate quote. Corporate quotes have a little bit more flexibility to go beyond the 60 words. That is not the same for a committer and a contributor or a guest, right? We want to make sure that there is flexibility. So my question is, are we okay to use the steward's call schedule to see, I am February, so I'm happy to review this. And my question is it valuable for someone else who is interested in being a reviewer to work with me and ask me questions? For instance, if Tetiana or Debbie say, I want to work on that one, Tetiana cannot because she is an employee of Payara. So that immediately takes her away. But then maybe Emily can help, or maybe Tetiana can help. And then my question will be, since I have done it from the start, doing all the reviews with John from the main document that we created for MicroProfile that includes the corporate quotes. This needs to follow the same thing, right? The same format. So
is there a document that says, you know, what the requirements of the quotes are?
Yes.
Is that what you're referring?
Debbie here. And this is part of the documentation that will be, is going to be written on how to do things and how to help, right? So all the documents are going to be linked in my I need to stop sharing, I think, and someone else need to take over. It's super slow.
I've just sent to the chat the link to these quotes.
Okay.
Lines.
Let's see. Let me start. Can someone else share? My computer is like.
Just a second.
I would likely have the same problem sharing, Amelia. I have 2 kids doing virtual schooling while we're doing this. So.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing, like the patience, right? In all the things. I stopped the video and my computer finally started thinking. So can Tetiana or Debbie, can you share?
Yes, I'm already in process of sharing.
Yeah, because mine, I stopped the video and still it doesn't work.
Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just guide me what you want to show in case you want to change the. This is the quote submission guidelines I've just sent to the chat.
Okay, so then when people submit quotes, you just review them against these guidelines?
Correct. We improve the guidelines by submitting PRs because this can change. Anyone can submit a quote on MicroProfile. And can you, Tetiana, go lower so I can show the inventory, MP quote inventory number 8. So, right, once we're done collaborating with the writer of the quotes, everything is okay, and the code is like, it's a go. These ones go by year, right? And then we started 2021. So then we have Payara's quote. First, we have Oracle, right? He submitted, and this is ready to go into the website, right? So Payara quote needs to be tackled. And my recommendation is that we use, when a quote comes in, we use the schedule that we have under stewards. That person is in charge of making sure that the quote gets processed. That means working with a contributor or committer or organization and making sure that staff is correct. That means checking facts is serious, checking facts, making sure that nothing is nonsense, and also making sure that it's candid, that answers the 2 questions. There are 2 super important 2 questions here, and they are on the top of the guidelines. If the quote doesn't answer the question, it needs to be rewritten. And if you're not comfortable stating that via the GET issue, then please don't volunteer yourself to own a task that requires honesty and truth. That's it, super simple. And this will be added into the marketing onboarding on like all these wikis. So it's easier to own.
So the result of all this talk, are we going to decide right now the person who is going to be responsible, like the first person who is responsible for quotes?
Under the current situation, it will be me because I volunteered for February. My question is, does anyone else is interested to go into a trainee session so that you can check the other prospects' quotes because it's a prospect quote, the one that it has been added. That one is going to be added into the prospect document. So there are many layers here. It's not a regular committed quote or contributor. So then I want to ask anyone here, except Debbie, but Debbie, you could join.
I was going to say I would do it, but this one's ours. So
yes, you can check the, someone else with me needs to do it so that the how quotes when March comes in is easily taken, that I will not be pulled into, oh, Amelia, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. It needs to be written, so that person will help write out whatever is missing from the wiki on quote submission. Because if you cannot use the wiki to do a review, then we need to adjust the wiki, right? And I want to help on that since I am on in February. That's all.
Should we also have the list with the months and responsible people for every month for the quotes?
No, it should be the same. We don't need different quotes. I'm saying likely just keep one list and this person.
Yeah, I think that might be okay to add like just
quotes.
Quotes review.
And this is why, yeah, quotes review. And there are many other things we need to do, but quotes reviews are super important because we want quotes to be maybe to be 50 this year, at least, right? We have so many contributors. All right. How do we feel about this new document that we are pushing for?
It's totally okay for me.
Okay, so now can we go back to the agenda? And thank you so much, Tetiana, for sharing.
No problem.
Okay, so then here in the onboarding, I did not add the task of creating a commuters wiki and the task of creating a marketing wiki, but I will add it as soon as I start, and I'm starting this week, and it's going to be done by next week. It's going to be done, the two documents. They will be sent to the community forum, just as I sent the overall, and then everything is going to be adjusted in the general. Oh, go ahead, Cesar. Thanks. But, and I'm not asking for volunteers. I understand we are all busy, but I will be so thankful because I'm going to create a Word document for each document. If when I send it to the marketing forum and you see it, you're like, oh, you have edit access. I can use suggested mode and make it clear, right? Like that's super appreciative because you can also submit PRs once it's added to the wiki, but grammar errors or clarity, anything. It's like more brains is always better.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let's go down more. Here, this is super important. We're talking about contributions, right? Watch, participate, the marketing repo. Tatiana, can you open it in number 1? Yes. Can you see watch 29? No, on the right upper side, it says watch. No, right.
Just a second, because I have all these videos here.
Yeah.
Okay, right. What exactly should I open?
It says watch 29, exactly where you have the cursor. There. It says watch start fork, that one. Click on the 29. So these are the people that get a notification via email every single time someone submits a Git issue. Do we have Debbie in here?
I think so.
No.
And me as well, no.
Yeah, so do you see what I mean? We don't have Tatiana or Debbie in this. So in order for you to help on the business side of MicroProfile, you must watch and create the filters for when, you're not expected to stop the world when you get a Git issue, but in your filters, it should be MicroProfile Git issues, right? Like MicroProfile marketing or business issues. And like that, you will know when a quote gets submitted or when something that you could help is submitted. If you're only in the minutes, and the first thing of the minute is checking what is in the agenda on the issues. We do inventory in a regular call for MicroProfile, the first thing that goes into the agenda is the issues. What issues can we tackle before and during that call and after the call? Are there issues that are problematic and we need further outreach, right? If you have not added yourself into Git, then you're really not working with the MicroProfile process that has been put into place for more than 2 years. Almost.
Mine says, like, where it says watch, mine says unwatch, which means if I click it, I'm gonna unwatch it, right?
Yes. So you have been added. So let's see, maybe we can find you now.
Because I thought I did this the last time.
Yeah, that was like 2 Decembers ago, Debbie. I was there with you.
Yeah, so it does say unwatch. Maybe I'll just.
Strangely, but I was also clicking watch, but nothing happens, and I'm not added here. But I will take a look later, so I don't think this is a big problem.
If you have issues, submit a Git issue, and then we will figure it out, because then maybe it's something with infra. But anyone that has a Eclipse account can watch repos. Right, John? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think this.
No.
Oh, there you
this
are.
is the Eclipse list. Sorry, I was thinking this was on MicroProfile.io. Yeah, it should show
It
up.
works. Look, Tetiana is there, but Debbie,
Yeah, I
I'm
changed
there
the option from the participating to all activity, and then I became there.
Oh, there you go. Debbie, do you get it?
Yeah, it's in there. If you scroll down, I saw my name come up on her list. There it is. I don't have a picture on it though.
Oh, there. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this will be written in the wiki as well. And, like handling the minutes will be written also with a new Excel sheet and all this information. All of it is going to be, I imagine that wiki is going to be long, but bear with me. We can make it a little bit smaller, but always assume what happens if you didn't know, if you were not someone that had been in the project for a very long time. We need to be kinder to those ones that want to help and feel that it's too hard. That means documentation. So this is why I will take the hit on that one. So then subscriber, if you're not subscriber, can you open the marketing Google email? Tetiana, and thank you so much for sharing.
No problem, yeah, open.
So we have 25 members, right?
Yep.
And if you want to send a message to here, that means a message of the minutes or anything you want, and you are not subscribed. If I was sharing, I will show you who are the admins. Tetiana, can you see the members? Maybe you cannot. I think everyone can see members. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, everyone can see the members. So I know, Debbie, you are here, Jadon is here, right? But we have new members, and all of them, if they assign someone, that person needs to be added to this list so that they can contribute and get the feeds of anything else that is happening in the marketing side that doesn't go into the community forum, right? So please add yourselves. This is like a recording, so we're talking about anyone that will want to become a committer of the project itself. If you do not code, you're still welcome. This is so important because communicating effectively takes many breaks, brains, and takes many different people coming together to simplify the message. This is it. This is a space. Okay, 25. In 2 weeks, we gained 3 subscribers. We do better than that. Okay, let's go down. The most important task that we have in February and March, trademarks. And I think we will need to start an email on that one because we have tickets. Tetiana, can you share please the Git issue, the Git repo? You had it open? Go into the repo there. And then 29, go into the issues and I will show you. There you go. If we go in the bottom, we already last year started working on not the legal part. Here, committer, banner, guest banner. There are many different parts of the trademark that are not really part of the trademark. We need a compatibility logo. We need, and it's in the page 2, I believe, here. You can click on it. I don't even remember how many tickets. There, compatibility. This was open back in May, but we never got to it. Ryan already got working on some ideas, and clearly this is nothing. We can do everything from zero. But the trademarks, we need to write the trademarks. Clearly the Eclipse team will help us with the legal, but that is a work that we need to do. Last week, or when there was the first MicroProfile marketing call, I said I was behind the write-up with a few others of the Jakarta EE trademarks. And it's easier to copy paste some of the documentation because it can be used for any open source project under the Eclipse Foundation. We have different processes, so many things will change, but the work was done because we were there working on the Jakarta side. Questions about this, because it will require everyone to help before we send it for legal review.
So the question number 1, is this the final version that we need to vote for? Or what is the task right now to figure out what other options we can offer? Or Ryan is going to work on some extra versions?
The first task is to figure out what does it mean compatible and what does it mean trademark? Who can use the trademarks? We were very loose on the charter and who will get to use it because we have the trademarks. The trademarks have not been written, and that is something that in the community, we will work on it so that within the community, we can write the trademarks, right?
Well, I'm not sure that's true, actually, because the trademark is owned by the Eclipse Foundation.
True.
And so they have rules instead of guidelines. I'll see if I can search for it here in a second. But we're going to be probably bound by that aspect of it. If I recall, to your point, using coming up with their own logo is going to be fine. They'll probably have to conduct a search with their legal, right, to validate it's okay. And then one other thing I thought I would point out is that we have to have a platform to be compatible with. So we don't have a platform spec, and you brought that up. So we've got a little bit of time. Hopefully by this summer we'll have a spec, but yeah, we'll see.
Correct. But John, let me insert here that the MicroProfile trademarks must be compliant with the Eclipse trademarks. When we wrote the trademarks for Jakarta EE, those are an extension of things the working group needed in the project itself. Every project has its own space to write trademarks, should they want to, that are an extension of the Eclipse Foundation trademarks. That is what we did for Jakarta, and that is what I recommend we do for MicroProfile, because the two projects couldn't be more different, and we can use the work that took months, really months.
Do you have a link to that? Do you have a link to what those extensions are?
Yeah, you can say Jakarta EE trademarks, and then there is a blog that is an extension alongside, because we discovered many holes. So then we wrote, I can find it and I will add it into the minutes. I'm happy to do that, John.
All right, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I will do that. So we did go to the trademarks because the budget we will know once we finish with the current community budget, so we don't even look at it. We have the planning document. Debbie, Tetiana, can you click the planning document? We have Debbie joining for the first time, and I think it's important for Tetiana and Debbie to go in there and see the voices. So Debbie, welcome. We have missed you. Please see this document.
Okay.
And if you see anything missing or anything you would like to see, please add to it so that things happen in a manner that includes you.
Okay.
I think the document is added twice into the agenda. What I didn't do is add call to action. What I didn't do is add everyone to provide feedback. But ideally, if you're in this call or you're interested on the business side of communicating a little bit better, definitely, we want to make sure that you provide feedback before the February 9th is the deadline. February 9th. Yeah, call to action February 9th. Yeah, we didn't have the yeah.
Has that gone out yet? Have we sent that out?
Yeah, we sent it out like 2 weeks ago.
So, okay, I'll have to go back and double check and see if there's any more recent updates to the doc.
I haven't seen the ones from last week to today. Last week we got many incomings, but no one has adjusted anything because we're expecting. We have it retweeted, and a few microprofiles retweeted, and then we use the handle to retweet more. And I think this week we need to do that as well. So there is a tweet. I think I should add it into the agenda minutes. And if you're not Debbie, if you like Emily, you already retweeted, but Tetiana, please retweet. I can go in there and retweet, and then you can be like, just I help on this or whatever it is. I think this is very important, and we need to do more media. Twitter.
Yeah. I think also it might be good for MicroProfile handle to retweet again.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now, but I wanted to ask, can we please retweet again? Emily, you created something super nice. You put your spin to it. I didn't, but you did, and I was able to retweet that, right?
Yeah, thank you.
The problem is that the handle cannot retweet out of a retweet. So then we need other microprofilers to comment on it and maybe put a status on, hey, we're getting so much feedback on this, and please join the conversation, or please join, join the feedback or something. I don't have the words at the moment, because we cannot tweet it out of the handle without a new tweet. We have the tweet pinged into the profile, and it has 21 retweets, but we need a new one that is from more community members.
Okay.
It's
so
long.
Who's going to tweet? I didn't get this one.
Anyone can retweet. We need someone to retweet. So then
retweeting, everyone is going to retweet, but who is going to make the initial tweet? Or is it just retweeting the same that was done before?
We can't, usually I have noticed this, we cannot retweet the same tweet. We could, but what we said is, Edwin submitted a Git issue with the description. So I went in there, corrected a grammar mistake, and then copy paste, adjusted it. Emily and Emerson reviewed the tweet as well before it went live. So we had 3 different microprofilers, a total of 4 working on that, and it was great. So now that one is pinned into the profile. So we don't need a new Git issue because we already worked on that. It needs to be something candid that say, hey, this is the document that is gathering information on what comes next for MicroProfile in 2021. What do you want to see in Join? That's it. Add the link of the document, and someone has to do it. I shouldn't be doing it. It needs to be someone new, someone that has joined. It can be, I do not know, just different faces. We need to distribute the work. Emily already did it. She can do it again, but should she be responsible of doing it again, right?
Okay, so should this tweet go from MicroProfile or from personal?
It should go personal so the MicroProfile can retweet it.
Okay, I will tweet.
It should be personal just because it's about community and the individuals. Stating what they would like to see is much more powerful.
Okay.
Okay, so once you do, always remember to add the @MicroProfile.io so that we get the notification. You can even edit it yourself, but I can do it also because, you know, just for the review.
Yep.
All right. That was the agenda. I mean, it's pretty packed. Tetiana, can we go into the Git issues before we end the call? Let's do the inventory. This is what we do usually in a regular call. We start with date and then we go with summary. Here we go. So the submission of Payara, I will own it. Does anyone wants to work on the Git issue to see if someone wants to own the review of the quotes?
I believe that Nate will be okay if you just review it. I don't think that we need too many people to.
Okay, so then the wiki is there, and when March gets here, the person that owns March, we have no problem with it. Plus one, I will own that today. Let's see. John, the YouTube channel, did you change the name of Eclipse MicroProfile to MicroProfile?
You know, that's a good point. I need to go check that.
So do you see, this is why we go to the inventory. This is the fun part of the call. We just go through, if a task doesn't land in here, no one should be working on that little thing.
Oh, great. It's just a reminder of the things I didn't do. That's what it is. Yes,
John, exactly that. So then we have two different things, right? Like we have knowledge tab. Okay, we wrote the documentation. We need to document that. Prospectus, Ryan is going to start the work on the prospectus, so it looks amazing, right? John did an amazing job on the document creation. And now Ryan is going to take it away from the format and make it much more professional. We have different partners that need to deliver their logos so we can add them to the website, right? In the wiki that I created for the general, I said, you are the one who need to create the Git issue and get access to the drive that is working group drive and drop the logos there. I shouldn't be the one creating the Git issues. This time it's a one-off because we're onboarding the new members and we're trying to help, right? But in the future, this is not going to be the case. Every new member will get access and will know how to use the tools because that is what it means, onboarding into business MicroProfile, right? So then we will schedule the steering meetings. And John, we fixed that, right? We put a hold on that because of the errors on the calls, steering calls, but there is no changing. It happens the first month, second Tuesday at 11 in the morning, correct?
I think that's what it says. I haven't actually checked since Kevin said, thanks for fixing it, Amelia. So I'm assuming it's right.
Yeah, it was wrong. So then we stopped it. So nothing has been done. But we will push those via media as soon as we discover that there are no more mistakes. I see no mistakes. A second eyes will be nice because you did it, I did it, Kevin did it, and Chandra found still mistakes. So it's like, right? So then let's go here. 372, Twitter social media action. This one is super important and fun. And this is not related with hard things that will take so much brain. Click on that one, please. This one is what we have currently going on the media on Twitter. We usually have a speaker sessions, submit your sessions, a starter, YouTube, like where do you find information, content, community call, white papers, ebooks, onboarding interviews between MicroProfile to MicroProfile. Now we need to add the steering committee, the onboarding members. As we did with the MicroProfile website main page, we need to figure out what we keep and what we add and what we adjust. And that needs to happen hopefully in the next call before we go into the sign and distribute this under each single ticket. Because every single time you see something going in MicroProfile Twitter, that is a ticket and it has been worked on via the Git issue. The signs have been uploaded, things have been changed. So this time, more eyes aside from Raya and myself need to be a part of that process. And this is why we are at the end of January, beginning of February, and you still do not see the tweets that are usually a one-off catch-up for the entire year, because we want more eyes to be part of the process. And this is part of also of the wiki on what to expect and how to help. How do we feel about that one? This is coming, and it needs to be completed in 2 weeks.
Is it going to be some kind of document with the text for each tweet for the future several months?
Yeah, all the year. It's going to be for the entire year. We do it once, and it gets a schedule for the entire year, and we choose the date and time, and we move on.
Right.
Okay.
So for this one, especially like session submission, maybe we should get a few more people to own the Twitter so that they can watch they can tweet the speaker session like in time, because it's sometimes in the Europe zone, sometimes it's in the different zone, time zone.
Yes.
Yeah, and also like I like the idea like some people own the kind of 1 week activity or something, and then also can triage all this as well.
And Emily, you nailed it. We use Twitter Deck for Twitter management, but Ryan has been tasked to find, even if we have to pay, something that will tell us who did what in Twitter. Currently, we have had issues in the past where something got deleted, many things got deleted, and we didn't know who did it because we used Twitter Deck. But we need to move that out to control, and we know, hey, Tatiana did this because you have access. Debbie, you did this, you have access, and we know exactly who did what. There is a sample of what not to do in Twitter. We don't reply via Twitter. Oh yeah, John, go ahead. I don't need to record it, right? And we need to go, but we will talk on
this. It's recording to the cloud, so it'll keep recording until you end the meeting, since your co-host will become host.
Okay, so then give me, thank you, John.
Yep,
so then
all right, thanks everyone.
Bye, John.